Now, a Christian street preacher was arrested in Rotherham town centre because he asked a Muslim about the Quran's teaching on domestic violence.
Yeah, former miner John Steele was arrested and told he faced a non-crime hate incident on his record after discussion with a Muslim woman.
Well, he's told our national reporter Charlie Peters now that he's been vindicated. Apparently it's all been dropped. Charlie's here. Morning.
Morning,
Charlie.
Very strange case. Last month, John Steele was in Rotherham town centre. He was preaching the gospel, as he's been doing for 25 years, without incident. Saw a stall being run for ethnic minority women at risk of domestic violence. And he went over and he says he politely asked a question about the Quran's teachings on domestic violence, if they were concerned about some of the Islamic teachings that have quite dangerous language about how women should be treated in a marriage. Now, he said this conversation lasted no more than 30 seconds. He asked a polite question and walked away, having not received much of an answer. But then, very soon after, he was surrounded by police officers. We can show you the footage now that we've obtained exclusively.
The world's gone mad.
This is the world we live in, and she's felt uncomfortable enough to come and tell a police officer, so I think it was your delivery.
I asked a simple question.
We are recording an incident, a hate incident.
I am not.
For your understanding,
I am not admitting to something.
So we can explain what's happening anymore. We're not asking to admit it. We're stating there's an allegation. You don't have to admit anything, but there's an allegation of an incident that's happened. That incident is a hate incident. We require details to report that, and therefore, if you don't provide the details under the section
50 Police Reform Act,
under the ASB Act, you are required to give details, and we have a power of arrest to obtain those details, which we don't want to go down. It's not necessary. Yeah, she's hoping that common sense might prevail eventually when we do look him up, because we're going to present him for not to obtain his details.
Yep.
And if he fails to provide, at some point along that journey, he'd like to think the light might shine.
Right, okay, John, as you're known as, 1347, you're under arrest. Okay. You're not providing your details under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. All right, we'll have to discuss that. The arrest is necessary to ascertain your details. All right, you do not have to say anything with my request. You do not mention my questions published later. I ain't got anything to do, so maybe giving evidence.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cybercriminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GBNews discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Now, he was taken to the police station, his DNA was taken, fingerprints taken, later taken to court as well because he'd been arrested under the Police Reform Act, which allows people to be arrested if they don't provide their details when the police believe they're engaging in anti-social behaviour, because they wanted to record this rather menacing thing called a non-crime hate incident against him. Now, they've been around for a while. They were issued by the College of Policing. They've been, in effect, delivered by police forces around the country in quite controversial circumstances.
Yeah, so you don't have to be found guilty of anything with that. Right. They just issue it.
It's just when they believe there's been a hate incident. And so lawyers for John Steele have told me that they are now looking into checking his record to see that this hasn't been something recorded against him, because they can sit on your records for years. Now, I have had a response from a spokesperson from South Yorkshire Police who told me that on the 21st of June, while on patrol in Rotherham town centre, officers were approached by a man who reported that a man approached her and was acting in an intimidating way. Officers located a man matching the description given by the woman and requested his details to record a non-crime hate incident. The man refused to provide his details following several requests from officers who explained the consequences of not doing so. Following this, he was arrested under Section 50 of the Police Reform Act. A case file was submitted to the CPS and a decision not to authorise charges against the man was made. The footage of the incident has been reviewed by our Professional Standards Department. It has been deemed a proportionate response that was delivered by the officers. Our Standards Department has not received a complaint in relation to this incident, and we will reflect on this and consider any potential learning.
I mean, the concern with this is, and look, I can see how they look at the thing and say, yes, the police followed the current rules and regulations, right, in all of that. And they were aggressive with him, and all fine, great. But you've got to look at the system that's in place at the moment, that someone can say, I feel like there's been a hate incident with no evidence, and he says he just asked a question, then he should never get that far in the first place.
Because it's such a pernicious thing to attach to someone's record, hate incident, people are naturally hesitant to give their details in those circumstances. And on this issue, we are having this debate at the moment about an Islamophobia law, people talking about blasphemy laws being brought in, the risk of free speech. Well, here we have already an example of someone asking a question about Islam and promptly being arrested for not wanting a hate incident being put on their record. Perhaps we already do have some degree of Islamophobia protection and blasphemy law in the law already.
Lots of people getting in touch straight away on this story, Charlie. It's sort of like, 4 police officers to speak to one person. What's happening with the real crime going on in this country? And already it's the 2-tier system. Well, the Christian picture shows where this country is going.
Well, yeah, I mean, Don, I'll just say on that point, when I was engaged with this story and we had this exclusive access, one of the people who shared this footage with us said, think about the town where this is happening. This is in Rotherham. The police force there for decades gave essentially protection to the local Pakistani Muslim community, failing to prosecute them properly over these crimes. But they'll swarm a man who asks questions about Islam. And
also, I mean, I know the police officers did say, well, perhaps it was your delivery. And you can understand someone can have a threatening delivery in something. I understand that. He didn't come across as that sort of man at all,
He's an ex-miner and a bus driver who preaches the gospel. I can't see him being particularly threatening.
No.
All right, well, you keep your thoughts
Charlie,
coming
another
through.
Good exclusive. Thank you very much. Charlie Peters there for you. Well,
I know someone's just messaged through and said something about the thought police, and that is beginning to be what it feels like. And this is the problem. It's the momentum. It's the escalation of all these sort of things. If you can't ask a question, I mean, for heaven's sake.
Well, this is not what the police are for. Nigel said, what is wrong with our police? This is not what they are there for.
Well, it isn't, no.
Any case, do keep those coming in. gbnews.com/your say. Let us know what you think about that story. And, of course, anything else we're discussing today.